This is the Mike Petke Coaches Show, brought to you by Xfinity, official entertainment partner of Real Salt Lake.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the first ever Mike Petke Coaches Show. I know you've been watching. Be quiet. I know you've been watching for close to a year now, but really, this is the first ever Mike Petke Show. If it's called Mike Petke Coaches Show, I should be hosting. But I'm not. I'm usually not. This handsome young man is hosting, okay? We are presented by Xfinity, by the way, which I forgot to say before because I'm new at this. But Xfinity, love you. Thank you very much. That's right. Turns have table, Dunny, okay? I'm the one with the earpiece in. The wrong ear you told me before, instead of you leading the direction of this show. I thought it'd be fun for me to take a turn at the hosting thing and put you in the hot seat. Hey, you ready for this? Are you laughing at me because I'm bad?
No.
Are you just nervous
I
because you're on the
am so
inside?
Genuinely excited about this. You have no idea, like the whole day.
I nailed the opening.
It was really good, by the way. Really good. Let's just talk about your earpiece first off.
Yeah, Tyler, stop
Shouldn't be
talking in my ear.
visible. Number two, it should be on the other side. You should be hiding it.
But I don't want to hide it. I don't want to hide who I am.
So
I'm the host tonight,
I was
right here.
I was expecting, I actually brought some makeup for you to touch you up. But I left it in the car because I knew there was no chance.
I only wear makeup once every 7 years, and that's not a discussion for this show. But well, you know, maybe if Xfinity extends us for about 5-6 years, maybe we'll get to that.
Okay,
all right?
I'll take you. To
Okay, here's how this is gonna run. Okay.
I'm on my Petke vibe tonight.
Here's
is
how
this how
this-
you sit? You
here's-
can't. This is my zone.
We'll
I
play
never
footsies,
kick-
dude. I don't care. This is how I'm comfortable.
I like your kicks.
This is how I'm comfortable. Thank you very much. You like the Johnny Cash shirt?
I do.
You know why I like Johnny Cash?
Why?
Because he did things the way he wanted to.
Okay.
The Man in Black.
Okay.
Why did he go to Folsom Prison? Do you know that?
He wanted to.
Do you have any idea why he went to Folsom Prison? To make one of the best live performances ever? Is because when he was down and out through all his bad times, the only people who wrote to him. Now, he played Christian rock, did all that stuff, and he used to get written to all the time. When he was down and out, the only people that wrote to him were people in jail.
Wow.
Saying how he inspired them. And then he had to fight with his record label about, well, why do you want to go play to prisoners, this and that? Well, they're the ones that I inspired. They're the ones who inspired me.
So that inspires me.
Yeah.
Richie Groden says hello, by the way.
Groden.
Yeah. See, I know people you.
You're
grew up
not in
with.
charge. Shut up. All right.
See?
We'll talk about Richie Groden on the next show. All right. You're trying to take over. Okay. Before we get into this.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to allow you, being the former host of the show that my name's on.
Okay.
Allow you one question.
Okay.
One question. Think it through.
Do you want to know how I know Richie Groden?
Not yet.
Okay.
No.
I want to know
don't.
about your hair. What? See, I was actually thinking I went to go get cleaned up today because we got a photo shoot tomorrow, and I was like, you know what? I should tell Petke about this place. And then I see, while I'm sitting there, I'm scrolling through, waiting to get my hair cut, and I see you with the buzz cut. What's going on over here?
All right, there's only one place I've been to over the last 10 years. All right? So, backstory, it's a great question. I didn't feed it to him at all, I promise. Which camera are you on? 3, the one with the lights, all right?
Yeah. Red lights.
Red lights right there. Great story. The only person who's cut my hair over the last 10 years is my wife.
Okay.
She has no hair cutting background, nothing at all. It turned out to be a guinea pig 10 years ago that I just, we were sitting around, I'm like, cut my hair, She said no, blah, blah, blah. I kind of enjoyed how it went.
Okay.
However, over 10 years, moving to Utah, things have kind of moved a little askewed, We're doing things to our house right now. Kids are all over the place. I have a game. And I asked her for a haircut about 2.5 weeks ago. And then from there on, we didn't have time. We couldn't find a spot, and it was too long. So after the game Saturday night, Sunday, we had a family day, and I actually just handed my kids to clippers. I said, take it off. Take it off. Now, can you pull up the picture for me? We're having our kitchen redone right now.
Yeah.
That's my wife right there standing like she's about to light somebody up. The reason why I'm showing you this is that without my wife, from my haircut to the house being done to everything, I'm sitting yesterday in my office on Monday, sitting in my office at my house, going over tactics, going over the next game, and I hear a rolling from outside. I look outside, my wife's taking the garbage out. A, that's supposed to be my kid's job. B, if it's not their job, it's my job.
Yeah.
She just keeps everything together. So the reason why, long story short, that I shaved my head like this, I gave my kids the clippers because my wife did not have time, because she shouldn't.
Yeah.
She runs the family. And then once they went, I said, all right, get out of here. Get out of here. And I just, therapeutic.
So what did you do,
shaving my
like a
head.
2?
2.
2.
2.
You told him, don't go less than
No,
2.
I put the clipper on and I
Yeah.
said to him, they literally had a...
Make sure that
As soon as my
pop out.
11-year-old went like this, I grabbed his arm like this. And then the 15-year-old went, I'm sorry, 14-year-old went, and I grabbed his arm. I said, all right, go back and watch.
That's it.
Watch this and that. Yes. All right, where are we? All I see is this. Great question, by the way. Hey.
Thank you. Good to see you.
It's going well so
this
far.
is fun.
All right?
I'm going to be just going like this the whole time.
Mike
'cause I'm
Petke
so
Show,
excited.
hosted by Xfinity with guest host Brian Dunseth. All right. First question. Why are you such an anti-homer and openly rooting for the visiting team, even though you're an RSL broadcaster? That's
Do you
what I want
think
to know.
that?
Basically,
I know a lot of fans
basically,
think that.
why do you hate me and my team?
I don't hate you and your team. I see how this is going to go tonight.
Yeah.
This is like a roast.
Tyler's in my ear laughing.
Yeah, of course he is. God, I can't stand that guy. I try to call a game. Why am I an anti-homer? I hate listening to broadcasts where it was so evidently clear that what my eyes are seeing is not lining up with what I'm hearing from a broadcaster. Well, I remember there was one play.
I agree, by the way.
There was one play, and I can't remember who the play was. It was Victor Bernardez stepped on the crotch of Kenny Cooper when Kenny Cooper was playing for FC Dallas. And Bernardez was playing for San Jose.
Hold on a second. Is that legal with the FCC? Stepped on what?
Crotch.
Yes. All right, that word is
Yeah,
that word.
it's legal. And I heard the San Jose broadcaster. I mean, they're showing slow-mos, and the San Jose broadcaster goes, I don't even know what the referee sent them off for. I don't see anything in that. And I was like, I don't ever want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
And
Do you hear that a lot? Like,
That-
as far as I know, you watch a ton of soccer.
Yeah.
Because of what you do, you have to watch Bundesliga, you have to watch La Liga, English Premier, Champions League. Do you hear that over there, or is that an American thing?
No, I don't hear it over there because they're more national broadcasts that are being sent back here, so they're not like a team broadcast.
Yeah.
I think that's the one interesting dynamic about the States. But I do hear you could rattle off teams that are more not homer leaning, but are going to give their team the benefit of the doubt way more often than they probably should.
Yeah.
Because I
agree.
think we're growing the game in the United States, and what I hate to see is when you have the opportunity to try to educate a fan base, when you have an opportunity to kind of show the subtle nuances with the game, that if you're creating a false narrative, you're losing out on the opportunity to educate a fan.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you've set these kind of false parameters for this fan to operate in. Oh, there's no chance that's a red card. Or, oh, no, that's not a handball. And you see the ball definitely go.
You're going to call it how you see it.
That's what I try to. And I think where I've been fortunate enough is by the way that I've called it, this club has, and Mr. Deloy Hansen, going all the way back to day one, I think has been very understanding of why I try to call the game the way I do. And I feel as though I've been really fortunate with my opportunities on national broadcast because I try to call the game right down the middle,
Yeah.
even though that infuriates a lot of fans.
So we're going to go on from here in a second, but just know everybody out there, every time he's talking and I'm looking here is because there's something on there that I'm reading, and I'm not as versed in Brian as Brian is with it, so I have to figure out as soon as he's done
It's right over
what
there, too.
I am going to say.
Just so you know, it's right there too.
It's
You
right
can look
there.
over my shoulder.
Oh, I
See?
can?
Yeah.
All right.
So then when I'm looking in the distance, I'm reading that, but people, if they're shooting it from this way, think I'm just looking
Think
at
you're
you.
looking at me.
But I'm
You're
looking up
doing
at
the side-eye
It's
sneak.
like, yeah, it's like Saturday
You're doing
Night
the side-eye
Live.
sneak,
Yeah,
all right.
Saturday Night Live.
So based off of that, I have to ask you a question.
Okay.
What was the question again, Tyler? We talked about it before.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
When you gotta reference
yes.
Tyler.
I have to reference Tyler, right? This is
By
my
the way,
first
this
time
is
hosting
comfortable.
my show.
This is so much more comfortable than the way I
You
sit.
do look comfortable. Usually
I'm
you're a little...
like my arms are here. Like
This
I
explains
got
it, by the way, because
my
you're
Petke
looking
vibe.
here when I'm talking to you,
Yeah.
or you're looking here, and I don't think you're engaged with me. Now I get it.
yeah.
Now I get it. All right. So have we spoken through text, through phone call, since the game till now?
From this past weekend.
From this past
No.
weekend? Not at all.
No.
Not even anything, right? Okay, perfect.
Last time I talked to you was in the broadcast.
Yes. All right. Were you mad at me after the game?
No, not at all.
Why were you not mad at me?
Because
I'm going to tell you a story.
Okay. I wasn't mad at you because I understand what my job is, and I understand what your job is, and I understand that while I analyze what I see in front of me, that your perspective is completely different. You are a gajillion times more invested in what is happening on the field and what you are seeing.
Yeah.
And I know that when results, you never get too high and you try to never get too low. But I always know there's that competitive burning inside of you that based on the results, you're going to come in and handle your press conferences, your post-game shows, interviews differently.
Well, it was interesting because when you asked me the question, it was along the lines of, what do you think about the game? It wasn't that bland, it was just, it was a better versed question from you, but it was basically, give me your thoughts of the games. Mm-hmm. And my immediate response back to you in the moment was,
you tell me.
You tell me.
Yeah.
And as soon as those words came out of my mouth, in my mind, I'm going, oh God, I know Brian very well. I know he's played the game at a high level. Yeah. He understands the game. He calls the game. He knows tactics. So I knew you were going to bring back a thought process to me that was close to, if not exactly, but close to what I was doing. And then throughout that whole thing, as you kept going and going, which I thought was awesome, by the way.
Thanks.
Okay. A lot of people would have been like, well, one or two things. Yeah. You said pretty much spot on. With a couple of things, I would have maybe had a conversation with you. And halfway through it, I'm going, oh God, where do I go from here? And my ending thing was genuine. That's about it. Yeah. Because what else could I say? It was one of those things. I said it to the wrong person who gave a great answer, and I was like, man, the whole thing.
I'll be honest with you. I haven't had. And I didn't take it as a challenge per se, but
I wasn't challenging you.
No, I'd never had a manager kind of toss it back to me. And here we are in the middle of the game, the midst of the game. We're talking about and trying to describe and trying to understand what the ebbs and flows of a game is, and kind of the chess match between the managers and the small margins of error that come, especially in the Western Conference so far this year.
Yeah.
And I just remember in that moment when you kind of threw it back to me, I was like, all right, well, this is what I saw.
You took it in stride. It was awesome.
And so, I was asked afterwards, like, did you know that was coming? Like, no, it was just, I feel like that's our relationship. Yeah.
You nailed it. All right,
moving. By the way, I am happy that I can ask you real questions and know that I'll get a real response. Yeah. But I can see, as an emotional person, it's got to be incredibly difficult at times coming in after a match and just knowing that certain things that you were looking for your team to apply, that you'd prepared for all week long or had been preparing all season long, that when those things aren't applied or that the team falls short for one reason or another, that fire, that frustration is not boiling to the surface, but
you can see it.
The one thing the one thing that I watch managers do over the course of their pregame pressers, their postgame pressers, or the interviews with the public and all of that is how do they kind of take these questions that at times might be super mundane, might be super poignant. How do they handle what the question is and kind of maybe turn it and answer it, or how they just kind of go back and just answer it immediately. And it's hard because we're still a country that I think is still learning the game in incremental baby steps. Yeah. So it's hard after a match. I couldn't even imagine.
But the thing is that I've said to you both on air, both off air, both in just passing, is that I genuinely believe that anything shortcomings we have, it had to have something to do with myself, my staff, preparation. That's why every Friday night, night before a game should be the best sleep that you have. It's the worst sleep for me. It's the worst sleep for me because I'm a thinker. And literally, I'm just thinking all week, what did we do? Based off of who we're playing. Is it going to be shown on the field? And if it's not, it really is me. Yeah. And I always have this, there's a couple of sayings that have been brought to my attention that I've really started taking a liking to. Owners hire, players fire. Yeah. That's number one. Yeah. And to me, it really does ring true. And a lot of times when other coaches I talk to in different sports, they say, hey, by the way, you're not the coach of the team. The players are the coach of the team. Because you have to adapt in this day and age to personalities, to how do you show him how to do this versus how do you show this guy to do that. Yeah. And it's all this stuff. But anyway, I just wanted to make sure you weren't mad at me.
No, I'm good.
All right. Yeah. I really wouldn't have cared if you were mad at me. We would have talked off there and, we would have cleared it up, all right? All right. Brings me to my my next question, which I'm curious about. When you call the game down the middle, do you take your relationship with players or coaches into consideration at all?
100%. Yeah. I'll tell you what. If you are, I'm trying to figure out the words that I can use right now. If you're a punk, if you have gone out of your way to be a jerk to me, or if you have gone out of your way to make it personal with me,
You'll give me some.
That's a bad thing. And I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about historically, and when I was doing the media training, I remember talking to players and saying.
Sorry, I'm just writing notes down.
Yeah.
Don't piss Brian off.
No.
Done. All right.
I remember telling players straight up, like, you need to figure out how to create organic relationships with media members.
And it's hard sometimes, by the way.
100%. I have difficulty.
It's hard for me.
I have difficulty with some media members, but if you can create an organic relationship, you'll get the benefit of the doubt. But if you don't create an organic relationship and you go out of your way to be malicious about it, that's a really bad idea. Because guys like myself inevitably have the power to, if you're a good guy, right? If you, hey, what's up, Dunny? How are you? You're just a nice person in general. There's a chance that if something bad happens, I'm not going to point it out.
Benefit of doubt.
There's a benefit of the doubt. If you're a punk, if you've made something personal for no reason whatsoever, then if you've made a mistake, why do I have any responsibility to protect you from what maybe the viewers might have missed?
So let me ask you.
It's a fine line, though.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question that's going to be. It might throw you off a little bit.
Okay.
The last 2 weeks for two reporters, I'm not going to name them. I'm not going to give them credit yet. Okay. But I've had the ability to say in 2 straight weeks for 2 questions, one in each week, that was a really good question. Okay. Now, aside from you, because I don't have the time in the beginning in the pregame, we're on a we're on a narrative. You know, you're asking me questions, blah blah blah. You always ask me questions. But these guys actually asked. There was 2 good questions. All right. If I would say to you in a broadcast after the game, before the game, after you asked me a question, and I literally just took a second and I said, Brian, I got to be honest with you. Out of respect I have for you, I think that's a stupid question. Or maybe not that direct. You know, I don't think that was a good question.
Yeah.
How would you react?
I would ask you why.
Nice. Throw it right back at me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, because I would want to know.
You're like my wife.
No.
You're like my wife.
I love Kim.
In that aspect.
I think Kim's amazing.
You are like my wife in that aspect. You throw it right back on me.
Well, but it wouldn't.
And then I'm rambling.
It wouldn't be so much to like.
Would you be angry?
No.
Don't
I wouldn't.
lie to
No, you want to know why? Because I would assess my own questions, say, okay, how could I have been better at that? Because there's times when I ask a question, I start rambling, I call it the cul-de-sac. You get caught in the cul-de-sac and you can't get out. And you just keep going more and more and more, and it's just verbally, it's just diarrhea.
Yeah.
You're just like, so what do you think?
Yep.
You know, it's like, what did I just ask?
Just put it right back on.
But no, I would genuinely, in the moment, want to know what made that question dumb for you, or why was that a stupid question? And then if you said, you know, for whatever reason, if it was, well, what do you think? You know, what do you think? We just lost 4-0 or something like that. I would look for the context.
Well, there has been. I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
No, go for it.
There has been questions over the last couple of weeks, and you know, along the lines of, you know, how do you feel about this? And it's like, what do you mean? How do I feel? Yeah. You know. Anyway.
No, because
I feel like I'm in the cul-de-sac right now.
No, because it goes back. It goes back into, and again, you know, we've both done the show on Sirius together, and I remember like the preparation when we talked about doing the show originally a few years ago. God, it's like 4 or 5 years ago now. How do we prep? Yeah. How do you go about it? You know, what are the websites? What are the videos? And I watch a lot of pregame and post-match pressers with managers, and it's interesting because there is no right way to go about in this high-intensity situation with everybody's livelihood on the line. When these questions are being asked, are they dumb? Are they malicious? Are they smart? Are they pointed? Like, regardless, I always find it interesting to see which kind of managers can kind of take those questions. Yep. And like Pochettino, for example, doesn't ever give you anything. Even if it's the dumbest question in the world, watching him navigate it in a way that he's giving you an answer that's his answer, but it has nothing to do with the question that was asked. So he's kind of, and I think that's, you know, being on the spot with all the pressure, that's the big difference between you and I, is where I'm analyzing, you're reacting. And that's it's hard.
Very hard.
Yeah.
So, over the years, I've watched you broadcast other games. You know, when you're not broadcasting ours now. Obviously, when I was back in New Jersey, I'd watch you do Fox Sports and all this stuff. You know, whether it's international, whether it's European, whether it's MLS. Simultaneously, I've seen you at times while you're talking on the air or during a game, something Twitter come up from you. How do you navigate that? I'm curious. How do you navigate between looking at a camera or when the camera's off of you, watching a game, commenting, but also at the same time multitask? How do you navigate that, and why do you do it? I'm curious about that.
Okay, so
that would be like me on the sideline, losing my mind, and then all of a sudden a tweet pops up from Mike Petke in the 35th minute of the game. I couldn't. I don't know.
I'll tell the quick story. When my oldest Shia, he was like 2. Mark Followell, who is the play-by-play voice for the Dallas Mavericks and FC Dallas, and he did the World Cup this past summer. We did games for FC Dallas together, and I was laying on the couch with my son. This is 8 years ago, and I'm watching my Clippers play the Mavericks, and I can see Mark on the screen across, calling the game.
Yeah.
And I just grabbed my phone. I was like, "Hey, buddy, I'm watching the game. Good to see you. Hope you're well." And all of a sudden, I literally see him go like this, and I see like the light up, and it's like, "Oh, I can't wait to call the game with you next week. Blah blah. See you soon." And I was like, I got this idea.
Yeah.
What if I could do this on Twitter?
Like live interaction?
Yeah. So I was like, so we went to the next game, and it was Tony Beltran goes down the right-hand side, whips the ball in, Sabarillo scores a goal. But as a broadcaster, as an analyst, and you know this, you've done it a few times, during the highlights, that's our phase to like go through and explain what you're seeing. So like first time happens. Tony Beltran down the right-hand side, variation of service, early ball in, Sabarillo with a great goal, blah, blah. So then it's like the second replay and the third replay. And now it's a fourth replay. I'm running out of things to say. So then I'm just like, Beltran down the right-hand side, Sabarillo rises like a salmon at the back post, and great goal. And someone's just like, starts tweeting at me. And like, "Oh, you're such an idiot, rises like a salmon, blah, blah, blah." And I just wrote back the hashtag, you know me, I mess around.
Yeah.
I wrote back the hashtag meow. And so someone's like, "What do you mean meow?" And I was like, "Oh, it's a drinking game that we're playing." And they're like, what's the drinking game? And this is all happening in real time. I was like, "I don't know, Drink with Dunny." And I was like,
I've
so
seen
that was Drink with Dunny.
You started Drink with Dunny.
Yeah, that was it. With a couple of guys like Chef Tom, and everyone started like.
That took on a little.
Oh, it was
world of its own.
There
buddy.
was like 7 people that were like running the Twitter account, and we were getting impressions. It was crazy, the numbers of impressions. But that's how it started. So then someone was like, "We'll say meow right now from Super Troopers," and I was like, "All right, here, one meow coming up." And I was like, right meow, you feel like Real Salt Lake. If they can't find the right balance, they're going to get in the transition. So that's where it started. So now there's 3 things in play. If we're at the desk and we're with DJ's right here,
Yeah.
I keep my phone open like this, and as he's talking, I'll just look down and glance, and I'm catching real-time information. So I'm utilizing
I couldn't do that.
I'm utilizing it for the broadcast
Yeah.
in a way. But then during the breaks, I'm tweeting back and forth. But the amount of people that will ask me questions that are in stadium, like, was that a red card? Or was that offside? Or was that foul? Or was that yellow card? So I'm interacting in real time with them. But then also, I think it's cool. Like,
awesome.
how cool would it be to watch any sporting event, curling, and all of a sudden the broadcaster, and you're like tweeting back and forth and asking, and he's responding. I just thought that would be a fun way to interact with kind of RSL Nation. And it turned into something a little bit bigger. But yeah, I've had some pushback.
The referees measured the puck was 1/4 of an inch from the center.
Yeah.
Do you think it was a 1/2 an inch, or what do you think?
Yeah, you could
That's what I
ask.
would do.
It's fun. It's fun.
Let me ask you this: have you ever, in all your years since doing this, live tweeting during broadcast, missed a play? Ever?
Yes.
You have. Do you remember what play that was?
There's been a few. But see.
What's the best memory you have of that?
So I've been caught on a broadcast, not an RSL broadcast, because I remember this. I got caught. I missed the goal because I was looking down and I was trying to answer a question in real time, and I just looked up and I was like.
And how'd you react?
So.
Like, do you just go like, oh,
So
I would be like this if the goal was scored, I missed it, and I was doing this, I'd be like, ah! I'd just start yelling.
So. Because that's David James's role, right? It's the play-by-play's role. So what I was fortunate enough to do is I gave it a beat before coming in and saying like, what a great goal, I start to be descriptive. So then when I look at the replay, I'm watching it. And because people forget, I used to call play-by-play.
Yeah.
So I see the game in just a little bit of a different light than a normal analyst. And I kind of started doing the play-by-play. Like I would have said like, and Kyle Beckerman wins the ball in the midfield. Great tackle. He outlets, finds Dami. Dami threw ball. And then Sam Johnson, what a finish. Can you believe it? And you kind of like, it was.
You snap back to the moment?
Spur of the moment.
Yeah.
I made it up after not seeing it. But it also helps kind of starting in radio and having to be descriptive to convey what the listener is missing visually.
Yeah.
So when they go grab a drink at the fridge, they're not missing anything. So that's kind of why I try to be descriptive.
That's why you're a pro, Bri.
No, that's why I don't like not tweeting during a game. It's weird.
You know what? I think I'm going to take my phone on the sideline next game. Why not? Why not? Live tweet? Has that ever happened? I mean, I'd be suspended.
I was going to say, I can imagine
pro
would be after you. MLS would be after you. You've been getting calls from Agus. It'd be a lot of calls.
Bri, I got to be honest with you. All right? I really enjoyed tonight. I didn't know how it was going to work out. I think I killed it.
I think you did really well.
I want you to reserve judgment until you watch it over or think about it at least a little bit.
You want to do this like
once a month? And I want to tweet. I don't know yet.
Okay.
I don't know yet because I actually enjoy being on that side of the couch, to be honest with you. But this was somewhat fulfilling, to be honest with you, all right?
It's fun.
All right. Where's the light? The light just went from there to there. Okay. Thanks for joining us this week on my show hosted by Xfinity. Dunny may or may not be in this chair next week, all right? Regardless, you know you can catch us again next Wednesday on the KSL TV app. Love you guys. Thank you. My man.
Good job.